We will now walk you through the grant application form in this tutorial. This form should be used to complete the background and framing of your grant proposal. Please ensure that you keep the format in Microsoft Word and use Times New Roman size 12 font. To get a better sense of how much emphasis to put in different sections, please refer to the scoring table in the grant application instructions document. The title summarizes the main idea or ideas of your work. A good title contains the fewest possible words needed to adequately describe the content and/or purpose of the work you're proposing to do. The title is without a doubt the part of the proposal that is read the most. If the title is too long, this usually indicates that there are too many unnecessary words. On the other hand, a title which is too short often uses words which are too general and does not tell the reader enough. For example, a paper with the title African Politics is so nonspecific it could be the title of a book. Be clear, concise, and simple here. The activity description is where the background and details for your proposal will be captured. Spend adequate time ensuring that this content is clear and responds exactly to the questions being asked. Section A frames the problem statement that your proposed activity will address. You should be as specific as possible in framing the problem and explaining why it is an important issue. In Section B, you should describe the innovative aspects of your work. We will want to see why your proposal is different, groundbreaking, or unique compared to other efforts in this area. Section C has 4 parts. When drafting the first part, make sure that your objectives are narrow, precise, tangible, concrete, and can be measured. In the second part, since the Surveyor program looks specifically at how to integrate geospatial technology and information into decision-making contexts, you should explain in as much detail as you can what geospatial elements and tools you will integrate into your grant activity. Please do not use general descriptions. We want to see that you understand the required inputs to successfully implement your plans. For Part 3, since this proposal is looking at gender, the section should be very well fleshed out. Focus on the specific activities that will include a gender perspective and how you will contextualize them to be gender sensitive. Again, we are not looking for broad general statements. We need to be able to see that you know how to program gender work into your activities in a real way, not just from a research perspective. For the 4th section, given the previous 2 sections that separately asked for background on geospatial and gender considerations, we are now looking for specific information on how you will integrate these 2 fields of practice. Please be specific. We will be looking at how your activities in your implementation plan match this section. In Section D, Part 1, you should introduce the overall methodological approach for your work. Is it qualitative or quantitative, or is it a combination of both? Make sure that your methods will actually address the problem that you proposed in Section A. You should also describe the specific activities and steps you will take to achieve your objectives, and what methods you're going to use. This is the what and how section. For example, describe activities such as surveys, interviews, questionnaires, observations, research, trainings, reporting, meetings, or other types of activities that you'll need to do. Also explain how you will do these things. You should also provide a justification. For instance, if you propose to conduct interviews, how do you intend to select the sample population? If you're choosing texts, which texts have you chosen and why? If you're conducting a training, what will it be about? Section E is critical for linking the theory and the practice. Surveyor is interested in supporting work that helps inform decision-making at the policy and planning levels. There should be a tangible decision context that is affected by the work you're proposing. Please state that here. For example, you can write this section as a scenario on how the outputs from your work can be adopted by a local government agency or other local institution to support their decision-making processes. You should also list here any relevant stakeholders you will work with to achieve your outcomes, as well as those who would be impacted by the outputs of your work. If you have already established partnerships with gender-focused groups or GIS agencies, describe them here. We also expect at least one external-facing engagement activity to ensure the work being completed during this grant impacts decision makers in the region. Please detail what that activity would look like here. For this application, referenced work is not required, but if you have used any publications to write this proposal, please use this standard to cite them. In Section 2, you will detail your implementation plan. Annex D should be completed to support this section, and there is a separate tutorial session that walks you through this annex. Please list here the anticipated duration of your grant activity, including the overall length and the start and end dates. In the personnel section, everyone listed here should have a completed Annex B, or CV template, and should be included in your budget. In Section 3, you will describe your experience and capacity in delivering similar work so that we can evaluate your capabilities. It is important that you focus this section on relevant experience for the grant work proposed. We are not looking for an exhaustive list of every activity that your organization has done. Be specific and focused in what you provide in this section. Section 4 looks at your anticipated costs. This section is to give a broad level breakdown of what's associated with your proposal. Details should go into your budget annex and should match what you put in this section. Be sure that costs are reasonable for the work required. For example, if you ask for $20,000 US, we will expect that this much money is actually required to deliver your activity. Points will be taken off if the amount is too high or not reasonable for the activities. Please list your costs in the local currency of the country where your institution is based. For the amount requested, it should be the amount of money you need from Servier in this grant. In-kind or other contribution from your organization is any contribution your organization plans to make to support this activity financially or through other in-kind support. Proposals showing some grantee contribution are encouraged. This could come in the form of staff time, equipment, or other associated costs. If you currently have money from other donors that you plan to leverage for this work, please list it in the Other Donors or Third-Party Resources box. In Section 7, list any major donor-funded activities that your organization has either managed in the past 2 years, currently manages, or expects to receive during the period that this grant activity will happen.